everyone, Fanta here, and you're watching Fantavision. Today we're going to be discussing what games really should not be on any top 10 list at all that I actually saw on some for 2017. A couple of these games were in running for best game of the year, and some just in separate categories. And I also want to say Happy New Year, 2018. It's going to be great, hopefully. Hopefully this channel grows amazingly. Hopefully your lives, all of you guys watching at home, are just fantastic. And everything goes great this year, you know? I mean, I'm also hoping that the gaming industry has gotten all the filth out of its system in 2017. And then that we're not going to see any of the exploitative practices like overreaching loot boxes where they actually affect the gameplay. Microtransactions that are ridiculous, season passes that make up most of the game, pre-order bonuses that are cutting out chunks of the actual game and forcing you to buy the game at launch. Let's just hope none of that happens. It's going to happen, I'm sure, but hopefully less than last year, because last year was just an insane amount of greed. And it was extremely blatant. We had lawmakers come in. We had countries talking about loot boxes, different states. We had Hawaii calling Battlefront 2 a front for gambling. I mean, we've got so much ridiculous shit going on that I really hope does not happen in 2018. So let's just hope and pray it's better than last year. So let's dive into some of the games that I saw on some of these top 10 lists for 2017 that really should not be there at all. And we're going to start off with a game that I was surprised to see, which is For Honor. Now, For Honor was a game released earlier this year, or earlier 2017, and it had like a lot of hype behind it, and then the beta came out, and it was like, this is okay. I mean, it's not amazing. It wasn't anything special in my opinion. I could see the potential of it, but it was ruined by a lot of different things, including the very pay-to-win aspect of the game. And how a pay-to-win game made it to a top 10 list is beyond me. In fact, it actually won Best Fighting Game picked by the community on IGN. How the hell that happened, I have no idea. I don't know if Ubisoft hired their, well, not hired, but had all of their employees go on there and vote for that game, or they wouldn't get their holiday bonus. But seeing that win was just shocking. I mean, I was like, oh, who would actually vote for this? I don't know. Apparently, the IGN community did. But this game is blatantly pay to win. There's been many articles, many videos discussing how it is pay to win, and if it's even remotely pay to win, or it has egregious microtransactions in it in a $60 game, why is it in a top 10 list? Why did it win? Anyway, so that's For Honor. Should not be on any top 10 list unless you're doing top 10 scummiest games of the year. I should do that. Anyway, let's move on. The next game I was pretty surprised to see on any list at all, especially after the insane backlash, is Battlefront 2. Now, it was only in the category that I saw, actually, no, it was also in the shooter genre as well. On a couple different websites. It was in the graphics and the shooters department. And it's like, I understand the graphics are great in the game, but when you're picking a game, even just for graphics, I feel like the game should still be good, right? I mean, this game, it made EA lose a ton of money. Like I said earlier, it made lawmakers start talking about video games again. It brought up gambling in video games. Countries were trying to ban loot boxes because of it. It took the already shitty idea of loot box and added it to a pay-to-win mobile microtransaction mess. And it's just shocking. It's just shocking to see that in anything, because I think the game is selling so poorly, and they actually got rid of the microtransaction element of it for now. I don't know if they're going to put it back in just because of how much backlash they got. How does a game like this get on any list at all after that much backlash is just beyond me. That game, once again, should be on like a top 10 worst games of 2017. If any list at all, that's what it should be on. So, just shocking. Another game that didn't start out terrible. It was okay when it launched. I mean, it still had its problems with loot boxes and other season pass and DLC fuckery, and that's Destiny 2. But over time, that game just keeps getting worse. It's just incredible to see this on any freaking list at all. I think I saw it in the running for Best of the Year in one place, and I saw it Best in the Year for Shooter, Multiplayer. I'm trying to remember the other things that I saw it in the running for. I don't know how. I really don't. I mean, Bungie just keeps putting in these terrible things. Like when they came out with the expansion, they locked out a chunk of content that came with a base game. And people got furious, as they should be. And then Bungie's like, oh, you're right. We see the problem. We'll fix that for you. We hear you. And then they keep doing this over and over and over. And they keep apologizing. I put apologizing in quotes because they keep fucking doing this stuff. So, how is this on a list? Right? I mean, it's a $60 game. Okay. It has a $50 season pass. Expansion pass, sorry. Because there's probably going to be multiple expansions. And then there's loot boxes. And I think there's also microtransactions. It might just be, no, it's just loot boxes this time, I think. Don't quote me on that. I know there's just loot boxes and microtransactions are almost the same thing. Whatever. I'm not wrong. There's extra shit in it that they're trying to sell you as you're playing the game. And that's just not right, first of all, for a $60 game. Especially for a $60 game that is trying to make you pay for a season pass. And yet, they're putting it on lists. Once again, if you're going to put this on any list, put it on a top 10 worst game of 2017. Because, sure, it improved Destiny 1. It's a much better game than Destiny 1. But from a greed standpoint, it's even worse than Destiny 1. And I didn't even think that was possible. So, oh my god, what a mess of a year. That's why I made the video, is this the worst year in gaming? And I think from a greed standpoint, it is. But from a game standpoint, there was still so much that came out that was great. It's just so sad to see the gaming industry in this state. The fact that I have to, like, hope that 2018 doesn't have these horrible things happen. It's just sad. I shouldn't have to worry about any of that. I guess I just have to look to the Nintendo Switch and Nintendo games for none of that stuff to happen, and look to indie developers for good games. I mean, there were some great indie games that came out this year. Like Golf Story. Stardew Valley was released in several different consoles. On the Switch, it's going to have multiplayer pretty soon. There's just so much good stuff out there. And it pains me to see the AAA industry slowly go down the pit of greed, deeper and deeper year after year, trying more and more scumbag tactics. Thank God that stupid online pass is gone. I mean, I don't even buy used games. It was just ridiculous that it was ever there. So those are the 3 games that I noticed were popping up on several different top 10 of 2017 in some certain genre, or even in running for best of the year. And I needed to point them out because they shouldn't be on anybody's list because they're terrible. They're scummy, they're full of greed, and most of the time, because of those 2 things, the game is broken, and it's just a grind. I mean, Battlefront 2 looks like such a fun game, but they ruined it by putting this horrible grindy system into it. That's what killed Battlefield 1 for me, was that terrible way they handled the loot boxes. I know they only contained weapon skins that even them in themselves didn't look that great, but the way that they handed them out randomly, instead of assigning you one every single time you level, like in Battlefield 4, it just made the game not feel rewarding. There was no reason to level up. And because you're getting XP in the game, there's no reason to play the game, because the XP is going towards leveling up, but leveling up does nothing. So, you don't get that reward experience that you need. And games are just going to keep getting worse. As microtransactions keep getting more prevalent in games, that is going to keep happening. So games will just be continuing to get less and less satisfying. And that's sad because I love video games, and that's why I'm so passionate about this kind of stuff. So 2018 is here. I'm hoping that some phenomenal games come out, and I guess we'll just have to go into this year with some positive thinking. Hopefully it works out. Hopefully I don't have to make like 4 or 5 videos about loot boxes again. And yeah, let me know in the comments what your most anticipated game is of 2018. I personally don't have one yet. I need to start looking at lists of upcoming games. I am looking forward to Monster Hunter. The game looks like a ton of fun. And maybe I'll make a video about that. Top 10 most anticipated games for 2018. Because I kind of need to look into that. I want to see what this year has to offer. Thanks for watching, everyone. As always, have a fantastic day. See ya.